Today we're going to be learning about observations. Observations are really important when we're talking about science and science experiments because when we observe, we can learn about what we're studying. We can learn about details that may help us identify what we're studying, learn about what it can do, what its purpose might be. And so these are all really important ideas to be thinking about. So to get us started, let's make some observations about this object that I brought in. So I'll give it to Maria to start and just take a look with it. Look at it, move it around if you want, and just tell me what you think. You can pass it around so everyone can take a look.
Well, it has 3 different colors.
Okay, 3 colors. Good.
It makes a clacking noise.
Yeah, it makes a pretty neat clacking noise. Good, isn't it?
It has 2 of these bulb parts and 1 handle.
Alright, 2 ball parts. And 1 handle, great. So these are great observations and they kind of give us some idea about this object that we have. Now, one thing to keep in mind is when we're making observations in science, we divide them into 2 different categories. So one of these categories is called qualitative observations. And the other is called quantitative observations. These words, qualitative and quantitative, do you guys know what they mean? Have you heard them before, seen them anywhere?
Nope.
No? They're kind of unfamiliar. Yeah, they're kind of long words and they're also kind of similar to each other. But if we kind of break them down a little bit, we'll see that you might actually be more familiar with them than you might think. So I'm going to underline the first part of each of these words. And just looking at the parts that I underlined, do they remind you of any words that you might already know?
Quality.
Yeah, you kind of see quality is like quality. Good, Anna.
There's also quantity.
And quantity over here, great, Annette. Good, so kind of breaking these down this way can help us remember the differences between these 2. So when we talk about quality and qualitative observations, we're talking about what kind of a thing we're studying. What is it like? These are observations that we can make about maybe its color, maybe how it feels, if it has a smell, what that odor is like, maybe if it makes a sound. So we're making these observations with our senses. Now, quantitative observations are about quantity. They're a little different. So these are things that we might measure or count. So we're talking about numbers, maybe how many parts there are, or how long something is, a length that we would measure with a ruler, or maybe a weight that we would measure with a scale. So we're talking about numeric quantities. So to kind of take some examples for this, let's go back to the list of observations we made in the beginning, and let's see if we can put them into these 2 categories. So Maria, you notice that there are 3 colors. Would that be qualitative or quantitative?
Well, I think the colors would be qualitative, right? But then the fact that there's 3 of them would be quantitative.
That's great. Really good job. Now, Annette, you noticed a clacking noise. Would that be qualitative or quantitative?
That would be qualitative.
Right, because you could hear it. You were using your sense of hearing to make that observation. Anna, you were noticing that there were 2 ball parts that moved and then 1 handle part that you could hold. What do you think about that observation?
That'd be quantitative because I counted them.
You counted them, great. Okay, so now that we've learned about the difference between qualitative and quantitative observations, we're going to learn a chant to help us remember. These 2 words are pretty similar, so we want to make sure we can remember the distinction between the 2. So I'm going to say this once through so you can hear it, and then we're going to try it together. Qualitative observations, you make them with your senses. How does something smell or feel or look through your eye lenses? Now, quantitative observations, these are numbers and counts. We measure things like height and weight and other numeric amounts. All right, sound good?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it all together. 1, 2, 3. Qualitative observations, you make them with your senses. How does something smell or feel or look through your eye lenses? Now, quantitative observations, these are numbers and counts. We measure things like height and weight and other numeric amounts. Fantastic, you guys are such fast learners. Well done.